Hi, I'm TJ. Yeah, I'm TJ. Hi, how you doing?
So, number what?
Oh yeah, looks.
Oh, is this the video?
Hi, yeah.
Okay.
Hi. Hi, you're so excited. Hi. And who do we have here?
I have somebody who's very excited. Who's that, Loki? Very good.
Always excited. So why don't we go for a little walk out here first, and I'll just kind of get an evaluation of your walking behaviors. We can go along the sidewalk or wherever you think it's kind of going, and then we'll go inside.
Okay. We'll go by the pet store and
Okay. Before we go inside, there's too many distractions. So I just want to see how you guys normally walk. So you mostly walk and he mostly jump. Go ahead and take a right here. And after we walk, we'll wait for him. Go ahead, and while we're walking down this hallway here, whenever the leash gets tight, just do me a favor and without pulling or anything, so release any tension on the lead. When it gets tight there at the end, just stop and call his name just once, and I want to see what his reaction is. Very good. That's great. Good. Try it one more time.
Loki.
Oh, he said it twice, but that's okay. Try it one more time with just saying it one time. Very good. Good. He knows his name, and even though he's excited and distracted, he still responds to it. That's a plus. So what we're going to do is kind of work with that to further develop it instead of this being like an instantaneous and momentary redirect into something that's sustained. So you kind of see there, you kind of get his attention, and then you kind of drop it right away. Part of the reason why he doesn't respond sometimes too after he has been responding is just because there hasn't been any real benefit of it.
Like a treat or something?
The treat, or like you haven't done anything with his attention when he gives it to you momentarily. So he's like, oh, okay. And then just goes right back. So that's where we'll usually kind of take advantage of getting his attention and then offering him guidance. And then also giving him praise or treats or something, some sort of recognition. Yeah, some sort of recognition to help continue that behavior, because you can kind of see what happens. He'll check in, and then it's like, well, there's no real point to checking in, so I'm just gonna start to ignore it.
Dog. My husband has had a couple other dogs, but yeah, so I have lots to learn too.
Yeah. It'll be a good learning experience. Why is that?
He can't stand all the jumping and then barking and all the fur. I'm like, well, why don't we get that stuff really nasty?
Has he never had puppies in general?
No, we had some little Frenchie before, and we had like a medium-sized dog before that.
Uh-huh. Were they already full grown, or kind of just skip through the puppy phase?
Yeah, I think the first one. We'll go in here.
One.
Or just keep walking.
Yeah, we'll just keep walking for a little bit. I gotta take off my shirt before we go in. I'll drop it off by the car.
Oh, how come?
Oh, most of these facilities have like training programs, so I try not to advertise in there.
Oh, I see.
like my personal store, they know and they don't care, you know. But you know, somebody management here, or you know, somebody might be like, you can't train him here because you're not working with us. Yeah. It's a slightly awkward conversation, so I just try to avoid it altogether by going incognito and just taking off my shirt.
Oh, that's...
And now we're just like regular people working on a dog that's pulling in their store.
Jump down?
He's quite athletic, huh?
What are you gonna do now?
He's got it.
Come on, pretend you're jumping out of the car.
Oh.
Come on.
He's smart. He's going to go back and maybe see where it's shallower. Yeah, there you go. Hi. Has he ever boarded before? Oh, okay. So he's been left with others before?
Oh, yeah. Like we did, yeah, I did well. Like the one was a family with young kids and a dog and a cat.
Oh, nice.
He loved it. And then the other guy, he was from Rover. He had a couple other dogs. So.
Sounds good. All right. Once the sidewalk kind of opens back up over here, we'll do one more, and then we'll head back towards the car. Oh, your mom didn't. I thought she was following us. Oh, gotcha. They're like, that's good. Oh, good job. There you go. Good.
Yeah, my husband was always telling me like to keep the leash kind of taut and then like pull up like that, but that clearly isn't done too much. Come on, over here. Loki.
Sounds like the very kind of traditional new age training of just applying more pressure.
You want to say hi?
Yeah, you know, you can say hi.
Come here. Sit down. Sit. Good boy. Sit down.
Hey, buddy. Done wait.
He's friendly. He might lick you, give you a kiss.
Oh,
I have
good
one
boy.
dog. Oh, you do?
Oh,
What
nice.
kind of dogs you got? Or what color are they?
A black and white one
Good
and
job.
kind of like brownish orange one
Uh-huh.
with some white,
Oh,
Cool.
cool. Are they the same size? Are they big dogs? Little dogs?
like medium.
Medium-sized dogs.
Okay,
A
cool.
little bit smaller than that one.
Nice. You have a good class? Yeah. Yeah.
Dog training is the first
Oh, that's what I'm doing right now.
Yeah, it's perfect. Here's a good open corridor. Have a good one.
Come on, let's go this way.
So yeah,
Loki.
it's very popular, especially on YouTube. Kind of goes off of the old-fashioned methodology and ideologies of just dominating a dog. Just make sure that they do what you want all the time, and that you're the alpha and all that good stuff.
Yeah. Ben likes to be the alpha. Okay, come on, work your magic with CTJ.
So the one thing that we're going to test out here is just any separation anxiety. So so go ahead and just round the corner, we'll record what he does, see how long it takes to notice you, see if he follows you. Hi. Good boy. Hi. Yeah, you can come back. We'll do the next exercise by the car where there's a little bit more open space. So yeah, very, very neutral. You know, didn't seem too bothered by you leaving.
No,
But
not
at the
at
same time, you know, might have come to you if we had called. I just kind of wanted to see what he was gonna do all on his own. See kind of where on that line he kind of lies. And now what we'll do is We'll do a little bit of a recall test here. Go back to the parking lot where it's emptier where I parked. Boy. Good boy.
What do you think? He's workable?
Yeah,
Okay.
they're all always workable. Just depends on, what you're really gonna need to concentrate on. For him, it just seems to be a lot of just puppy behavior. Just energy, excitement, lack of focus, probably lack of impulse control. So nothing too outrageous or extreme by any means.
Very grateful he doesn't have any aggression.
Good boy.
Good boy.
Most of them don't. And especially with like the walking behaviors, him and his sporting mate will be very similar. So
okay.
all I'm trying to do here is just kind of gauge. Let's see, this should be good. Go ahead and walk across there. Oh, actually, we'll do 2 exercises in one. Go ahead and ask him to sit, stay.
Sit. Sit down. Good boy.
Okay.
Stay.
Okay, and then slowly walk away towards the end of the lot there. Yeah, keep on going. Broke a little early. All right, go ahead and now try to call him to you. Very good. There you go. Good. Yeah. No, you did great.
10 other dogs.
Mhm.
It's all right though.
That was good. All right, so let's see. So a good, easy way to start practicing, and we'll go over this more tomorrow when we start his actual drills. But while you're here, just some of the basics will be to teach him to recognize the pressure on the lead instead of just ignoring it. And most of the time we do that.
Jen, you should listen to, because she walks him a lot.
Oh, perfect. Most of the time we just do that by adding additional pressure, which is fine. But to start making it so he is more sensitive, so you don't have to use as much force, and also so that he starts walking with you as opposed to against you and back and forth. I'm just gonna wait and use patience instead of pressure, and then when he does kind of redirect naturally on his own, I'm gonna give him that kind of recognition, praise, or reward, and then I'm gonna guide him to where I want to go. So it's gonna be twofold. Good boy. The first part is you're gonna need to know where you want to go, right? So, good boy, this way. Okay. So I'm gonna try to go in between the 2 trees over there, and I want to get there without him pulling. Good job. Yes, this way. Yes, good job. Here. Yes, good job. Right? So every time he gets too excited or pulls, I wait, he comes back, and then we go together.
Okay.
It's not going without
And
me.
you're rewarding him with a treat.
Yep, just for his attention.
Yeah.
Because I want to draw that out, yes, as much as possible. Even so, to the point here, where if I walk backwards, yes, good job, this way. Good, yes. Yes. Okay, checks out. Because of the smell, yes, good job. With me. Okay. There we go. So we got here without him pulling. he had moments when he pulled, but the main thing for him to learn and for you to learn is that when he pulls, he doesn't get to make progress where you want to go. So you're going to need to kind of take time to also not let yourself make progress to where you want to go when he's pulling.
Like, what about, you know, when initially got in the car, it's really crazy. How do you redirect that?
I usually just let that energy run out.
Like, so he gets better as our walk, like at the end of our walks, when he's a little bit tired and
Yeah, get that segment out.
he does a lot of that, like,
Good boy. Oh, there you go, that works.
You got all the things in there, huh?
Yeah, I've got a lot of stuff in my pockets. But a lot of it is just understanding when he gets excited and when to use it. So for example, if he was full of energy and excited about being in a new place or area, what I would do instead of just trying to stifle it and have him stop is I would take that energy and excitement and turn it into maybe something like a focus exercise, turning it into like a fun game of like follow me or chase. So instead of him jumping up and down, going all over the place, I redirect that energy and attention back to me, right? So here he's doing it out that way. This way. Wait, this way. Yes. Right? Right? Yes. And wait. Good. Yes. Sit. Good. This way. Sit. Good. So you kind of see I'm taking that energy and excitement, I'm playing with it, and then I'm bringing it down, right? So there's at no point that I'm going against it. I'm using it to my advantage. This way, I can also teach him how to calm down when he's excited, right? Because now I make him excited. I make him not excited. Right?
Are you so happy?
So a lot of the training style that I do is I try to, especially with puppies, try to make everything into a fun game. So that way they want to participate, and then they want to learn, or they inadvertently learn while they participate. Instead of always trying to force them to do something, you just let them know what game you're about to play. We're about to do the follow me game. We're about to do the sit stay game. We're about to do the recall game. Okay. And then it's like, so you're still getting him to do all the things that you want, except now it's not the strict with me. No, with me. Good boy. You know, stay. Don't move. You know, it's like, stay. Oh, let's go. You know?
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
my
military
Yeah, my husband's
father.
military.
What exactly what?
Yeah. A lot of people do.
Right.
It's it works well with some pups. Some other pups though, and probably why some people have problems is it doesn't always work well with every personality. So you have to try to take into consideration your pup, their demeanor, what drives them, what motivates them, and instead of trying to going against it, try to take that to your advantage.
I know, he's the type, like, if he gets too excited and then Loki doesn't listen to him, then he's like, go downstairs right away. And then I'm like, you don't even give him a chance, you know? But don't worry, you're gonna be a good boy, and then Papa will want to keep you, right, Loki? Right? After we shave you, maybe?
There's no promises, but I can teach you how to control him a little bit better.
To make my
and
husband love him.
And we'll teach him how to control himself a little bit more.
Yeah.
And I think that's gonna be the ticket here to what you're really looking for.
Yeah.
And his development.
Don't worry, it's not poop, it's leaves. But sometimes he gets poop stuck there. I try and cut it.
Oh yeah. You can always ask the groomer to clear that area out too when you take him in.
Hey, you think we can make him into a short haircut,
It depends. Sometimes they have skin issues if you cut the coat too short.
Like
So
not shave, but just trim it so he's like a short coat.
yeah, it's up to you. You can ask the groomer.
Hey,
Hi,
Loki.
but he looks great like this, especially come winter time now. Anyways, maybe next summer. Good boy. Right. So now we're walking back to my car, drop things off. He's walking a lot nicer because we got some energy out in a good, productive way. And also we're sticking to the point where, like, if he starts pulling too hard, we're just not going to let him move anymore in that direction. And we want him to refocus back onto us and where we're going and what we're doing. Like right here, just got distracted there. Good boy. And he's just autopiloting because we're not giving him any direction or instruction, and he's also not paying attention to us, so he doesn't even know when he's going to pull himself. You know, it just happens because he's going one way and you just run out of lead. Nobody's paying attention to one another right now, so that's why you kind of have that disconnect. We kind of rely heavily on the leash to kind of put him back in line, but this time I'm just gonna hold here, let him soak up everything that he's interested in.
Whatever that is.
Uh-huh. That's a pretty normal thing. Good boy. If you don't mind holding this.
He's ready to go.
Yeah, he loves the car.
Good boy. Alrighty.
So many things.
Boy, yeah, I've got a lot of stuff.
He's
in
like,
there.
oh, what can I chew on?
He's
What
got
are all
some
these
toys.
smells?
He's got some toys
boy,
and some
yeah.
balls for him.
Wow, what are you?
Oh
What
wow.
are you finding? You're gonna find it, whatever. it
A
is.
leftover trick bag.
Oh.
Alright. Good. So now, when I do add pressure, instead of sharp pressure, I'm just going to add ever increasing little bits so he responds. What? So I
Oh,
want him to
that's
get used
nice.
to. So I want him to get used to like small bits, and I want him to still give up. Right? I'm not going to pull him off, but I'm not going to make it comfortable for him to stay on. So I'm not doing everything for him. I'm making it
was
an
so
easier
hard.
decision for him to follow me, right? Because it's too hard to go the other way / impossible. Right? So right here, just using the leash as a boundary. I'm not gonna pull him. I'm gonna wait for this car to go, and we'll go over this in the drills tomorrow. Good boy, right? He looks at me. We start going together. We use the leash as a boundary. Good boy. Yes, good job. So I just want him to start checking in on us more while we're out. A lot of times you'll notice if you have his focus and his attention, he's not pulling because he's able to follow you. It's when you don't have his focus that he's usually pulling because he's not paying attention to you.
How do you maintain that? Like through calling his name, treats?
Different exercises, using the leash too. And I'll show you how to kind of use leash to micromanage, but not like everything. There you go. Good job. So I didn't want him to jump on the car. Hi, how you doing? You want to say hi? Good boy.
Whoa.
He's got to be very friendly, that's for
Oh,
sure.
2.5.
Oh my god. So good.
Thank you.
That was good. Good job, Loki.
You did great. Hi. Good boy. Yes, good job. Wait. Okay. Hi, how you doing? Good, there you go. All right. Okay. I'll give them back to you for this, just so we can see again. Okay. Get it into whatever is in the trash there. Good old scavengers. Makes sense. Holiday season. Man, we're getting the Christmas one before the Thanksgiving one. Sorry, excuse me.
No problem.
What do you want? You want a toy or something? Or a little rabbit?
How's he do with squeakers?
He likes them. I have to get him like really tough toys otherwise he demolishes them pretty quickly.
Makes sense. Very good.
So many smells, huh?
Good boy.
Oh my god. Come on. Loki. Come on.
So here will be a good suggestion, right?
Uh-huh.
So if you're pulling him and you're saying his name,
Uh-huh.
you might not be sure which one he's responding to, or if you just try to do one at a time, it would be more efficient, right? So go ahead and call his name once,
Loki.
right? Ignore that for the treat. So now we're gonna pull him back. Okay, good boy. Loki. Yes. Good job. There you go. And again. So next time when you say his name, when he's about to go to one of those treats, before he gets there, say his name and then call him back to you, right?
Should I say that again?
Before he gets to the treats. Right here now?
Loki.
Almost. So a little too late. I'll try
Oh.
again.
Oh.
You can go ahead and put that back. There you go. All right, so we'll try again back here. Okay. Right. So now I'm gonna release him this way. Call.
Loki.
Almost.
Leave it.
It's okay. We'll teach him that. So one more time here. So as soon as you see that he looks at it, go ahead and call him back. Okay.
Loki.
Perfect. There you go. That's where you're gonna have to start at.
Oh, okay.
Because if you're trying to get his attention and he's already in it, he hasn't developed that yet. You're like level 1 training because he sees it, he wants it, he call him back to you. That's like level 5 training when he not only sees it, but he's already like engaged in it.
Yeah.
So right now, try again.
Loki.
Perfect. There you go.
Sit down. Good boy.
Very good.
Here's a tentacle. There you go.
Especially when he hard peels himself away from things like that and listens to me is when I would reward.
Okay.
So usually like things like leave it or drop it, I'll initially do for a treat, and then what I do to kind of get them off of that weaning wise right away is to have them leave it, then come with me for a little bit, follow me around, and then they get a treat, So
Jada, you gonna get a hamster?
Oh, there's a little Junior Lewis over there. What do you call them? Oh, wait a minute. Ferret.
oh, the ferrets,
Oh,
yeah.
look at him. Does he want him for
Wouldn't you
dinner?
like to eat the little ferret?
Oh, he's so
Yeah, you can eat the
cute.
ferret.
Uh-huh. how about a guinea pig? You want a guinea pig?
Maybe that would, I mean, that
So
would
we'd
be
have to work
something.
on so we have to work on Leave It. That's a good one. It's pretty normal too. Is there anything else you wanted to show me that you might need to work on?
Leave it. No, leave
Right?
it.
So when you
It's pretend treat.
so when you know that something's already going to fail, instead of taking the time to say his name first, just pull him away.
Okay.
Because what we don't want you to teach him to do is to just ignore commands,
Hey.
right?
Loki.
Just pull. Just walk that way.
Oh.
There you go. Good.
And then treat him.
Right? Because what ends up happening is, like, if you keep saying Loki, leave it, and he doesn't leave it,
Yeah.
he still gets to enjoy it, and there's no consequence. So there's no weight in listening to you.
Oh, it's a cat toy. I wanted to see if he wants a toy.
So that's why it's really important to not give commands that you know are already going to fall on deaf ears.
So what do you do if he's gotten something all over the garbage can and he's racing around with it in his
Or he
mouth?
has
And
the towel.
Just catch him. Yeah, because you're not going to be like, Loki, drop it, unless he's actually really good with the practice on it. And we just went through why he's not yet. He's at like the lowest level. You have to get him up to the highest level before he can do that.
level.
So that's why it's like math. You know, you have to get down the basics first before you try to do anything advanced.
Sit.
You know, if you try to give a sixth grader like a calculus book, it's nothing. It means
I didn't
nothing,
know that.
right?
too high up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he's he can do it at like that level 1. He's good at like adding and subtracting.
Something like that for David.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, maybe.
But you know that he would
For
have to keep.
responsibility?
Yeah, he'd
I'm
have
sure
to.
Ben would love that.
Ben would. And yeah,
Bless you.
if it ever got out and Loki got him.
And so that'll be something that you'll kind of see while we're working with him, right? Is really starting from the basics and then just building from there. Once he starts getting it, then making it harder.
Honey, you're not very sharp.
Oh, sorry. No, I'm
See
trying
the
to.
little Lewis?
If we make it too hard for him to succeed, then we take a step back, try to make it easier for him to succeed, and get him the practice that he needs there.
Ah.
Hi, babies.
We have a ragdoll at home.
Whoa, whoa.
Oh, it says to
That's
keep
like
dogs
a
away,
Oh,
by
yeah,
the way.
they're asking you again.
Sorry, I didn't
Oh,
see the
sorry.
sign because you were in
Oopsies.
front of it.
Okay.
Get away, dog.
It's nicely highlighted too.
Leave it. Leave it.
Oh, these are all so cute. Oh my gosh, these are all
This
like
is your
trees for animals.
Leave
Don't
it.
let him do it.
I know.
So we'll definitely need to practice that both with you and with him,
Yeah.
which would be good. And that just goes back to that impulse control we're talking about. He sees something, he just wants to go after it and get it. He smells something, he just wants to follow it. He sees someone, he just wants to go and jump on them. Impulse control.
I work on my own impulse control with food. Leave it.
And you can kind of see you're kind of conditioned to do it anyways, even though you know he's going to ignore and you had to pull. So you could have just did the whole thing without saying it, but you still did it. Yeah, and you just said it anyways. So it's going to be really important while we're working with him, and it'll be easy too because you'll be able to kind of see back on the videos, right? Like, what am I doing that's effective? What am I doing that's a waste of effort? Because I don't want you to waste extra effort because that's how people get frustrated.
Yeah.
Yeah. We want to put as minimal effort into him listening to us as possible and get the most results. So when that's important because you have to remember too not to put any extra effort in yourself unnecessarily. That's all. Oh, there's another pup.
Oh, you want to say hi, Loki?
Oh, it's a cute little one.
Loki.
He is definitely food motivated, huh?
That's fun.
Hi, how you doing? Right? So that impulse control, that energy, and that excitement. Hi. Right? So he just sees something, wants to go and get it. And that's just going to be a lot of kind of social conditioning. a lot of social conditioning and training. We had one Burmese mountain dog who had kind of the same issue. It was very friendly, but what ends up happening is because they're so big and strong, and it's just pulling you or their kids or whatever right to the ground because they want to meet somebody. So what we ended up doing there is just getting them conditioned to seeing something that they want, whether it be a person or dog, and then checking in with us first, and then asking them to sit and wait, and then having the dog either come to us or we release them to go and meet them. So
one thing I've been trying to, like, I don't know how effective I am with it, but whenever we go to the dog park, whenever he knows when we're going, so as soon as we get out of the car, I'll get him to sit and kind of chill, and then before we go into the dog park, I make him sit, and then when other dogs come in, because he gets so excited, then I get him.
Same idea. You just have to kind of practice that in the real world too. And something here, if you want, I'll take the leash for you, and I'll kind of show you a little bit of what I mean by kind of controlling the leash, and that way you control him. So instead of letting him kind of pull you towards things, go ahead and take kind of inventory of your surroundings and how long or how short the leash is, right? So if he wants to get there, I'm going to keep the leash too short, and then I'm going to go this way and have him follow me, right? And then I'm going to loosen it. That's the thing. I only want it tight when I need to create a boundary. I'm going to walk straight through, right? Right? I'm not adding any extra pressure. I'm just making it so he can't reach those things just with the length of the leash. I'm not pulling back, I'm just keeping it still. This is another way where you can get the same results, if not better, because you don't have to keep tugging him back with less effort. Good boy. So same thing here, right? Okay. Okay. So instead of having to jerk him back, I just held the leash at the length that was just too short.
Be able to anticipate. Like,
Yep. Good boy. So when we're working with him, he'll be able to kind of see that I'm doing everything very like preemptively. So like if we saw a dog or a person and I saw that he was interested, I would preemptively get him to redirect to it. You know, so doing things as early as possible, so that way you're not trying to play catch up. You know. Good. Yes. Right. Good boy. Very good. Thank you. So you can kind of see there the difference, and you don't even have to ask him to leave it. You don't even have to pull him away. So you've already like premeditatively know that he's going to be interested in something that you don't want him to get into, so then you control the length of the leash so he can't get to it in the first place. Just using the leash as a boundary. See? Hi.
Hi. Just watching. I know, I want to pet it, but I know you're training.
Oh, you can say hi. Come here. You can say hi.
Beautiful, and you're doing a
Good
good job, huh?
He's doing great.
And you're so clean.
Good boy. Yes, very good.
Thank you.
Good job.
This is the place to go.
Good job. Good breeding.
Get all the dogs. Aren't you better than my dog?
Oh, look at that one.
Oh,
There's
there's a
hi.
distraction
Do
for
you
him.
want to say hi? Loki. Right? He's distracted. Hi. I like your boxer.
Thank you.
How old is he?
He's almost a year and a half.
Aw. Good boy. Loki's 2. Just a little older.
So yummy.
Aw.
Yeah, this
He's
one decided
awesome.
to chew through his leash.
doesn't like
Aw.
Yeah, he's real shy around people.
Aw. It's okay, big guy. At least you're out socializing him. That'll help. There you go. Good boy.
Yeah, I like the dog park at South Front. There's a couple like big huskies and a couple bigger labradoodles. And this one can actually like
Oh,
get
nice.
out there and like romp with. And
Makes them
they
fun.
were really friendly.
Oh. Good job. He's like, I smell you. Aw. Well, thanks for letting us meet you guys.
Absolutely.
Aw. I love that face.
Good job, bro.
So do you have any, and that was another one, right? Just kind of adjusting the leash so he couldn't reach the gentleman. Same thing here. But do you have any questions on that? We'll go more into detail and we'll do an
No, I think it
exercise.
will just, yeah, be a lot of like going over everything again.
We'll go over things a lot, yeah.
Yeah.
That way you can get to practice in doing it as well. Okay.
Is there anything you needed, like I put in a couple toys as well. While we're in here.
I don't know, you could probably keep those things for him back at home. Just so that way he doesn't get possessive of any of his personal toys.
Okay.
Because I have toys at home that they'll share and play with, so that's fine. But no, if he has his food and meds and anything, it should be fine.
Okay.
All right. Anything else you want to go over? Any other questions
That's
before
kind
we
of,
go?
you've seen most of the biggest.
Yeah.
Yeah, you saw the barking, but when he really wants to play it, he just does not stop, and he's like breathing, barking in your face.
Gotcha. Okay.
And then he thinks you're playing, and then it's hard to
Get him down.
de-escalate it. Yeah.
That's fine. That's a pretty fun one to work on, like you saw outside. You saw a lot of that. Yeah. So good news is, a lot of it is just good boy. A lot of it is that impulse control with the puppy. Just teaching him good routines and manners. So I think he'll be just fine. We'll see how much we can age him for your husband.
Okay.
Yeah, good.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Good boy.
Good boy.
Loki is doing great meeting everybody. Fiona is actually super excited to see him and wanted to play with him. Our boy Rizzo is still a little unsure, but he seemed very excited too. A little bit more barky, but nothing negative. Just taking Loki out with everybody for a quick walk. It's pretty late and the video quality won't be too good, but wanted to at least add some of him settling in tonight with his friends here. Yeah, looks like Loki and this one want to play too. Okay. You can play inside when I'm not having to hold both of you guys and a camera. All right, seems like everybody's gonna get along great, and I think this will be a good clip to show this will be a good clip to show Rizzo's mom as well, just because I think she might misinterpret these play mannerisms or growls and stuff for anything aggressive, but no, it's definitely all good play. Here, we'll see it. Hopefully we can get some more of them playing in the light so you can see what's going on. But no, there we go. Hey bud, come here. Let me untangle you. Oh. Good boys. All right. Come on, let's head back in. We'll do longer walks after dinner. Just do a few introductory walks, let everybody pee. And get more of a chance to hang out with one another. But yeah, so far so good. Everybody's settling in well. Good boys. So you can kind of see Rizzo's excitement is triggered when Loki starts running. Good boys. Come on, big guys. Good boy, Loki. Good boy, Loki. Good boy, Rizzo. This is now Lilo and Loki. Lilo's usually less interested in other pups, just pretty neutral. Every now and then she'll play, but she mostly sticks to herself or likes to hang out with me. She does play tug. She does growl, which is really good. Helps to get other pups used to the sounds without overreacting. She gives good corrections. And like I said, she can be playful, but for the most part, she usually just leaves the boarding dogs be, and vice versa. She's more of a lone wolf. Good girl, good people. Alright. I don't think the rest of this walk will probably be not too much more exciting. Huh? Yeah. And Fiona here was really happy and excited to see Loki. I think she was super excited to have somebody her size for a change to actually play with. And Loki tried to hump her. That was a good social correction by her as well. I'll have to keep an eye on that. She also tried to hump Lilo too. Neither of the ladies will take too kindly to that, but both will definitely let him know that it's not allowed. He tried though. Everybody's doing great. I think after all the excitement, Loki's starting to wind down a little bit now. They were playing a little bit inside already as well. Someone leaving random water bottles on the floor. Good girl. Good boy. Good job. So Fiona here would also be another really good example of why, especially when you start getting to these larger, stronger breeds that can pull really hard, why it would be important to teach them to respond on softer pulls or softer pressures of the leash, as well as maybe no pressure on the leash as well. Fiona. Good. Right on. Good job. Good girl. Because if they follow you with focus as opposed to following you with force, then anybody can walk them. Everything from smaller children to maybe the elderly, sometimes people that are injured or maybe just a little bit weaker. So we want to try to take just strength completely out of the equation altogether. Come on, Fiona, let's go. Good girl. And we have her just kind of follow us with focus. Okay. Good girl. Sorry, unfortunately, action cameras aren't too good in the dark. We'll be coming into some street lamps here shortly. Good girl, thanks for waiting. And now, without saying anything, because she should be paying attention to where I'm going, I'm going to stop. Yes, good girl. This way. Good. This way. Good. Very good. I know, you got an admirer over here. Good guy. Good spot. Fiona, wait. Good girl, thank you. Good job, big guy. And that was good too. Loki mostly followed as well and didn't really need too much of guiding with the leash. So we want to use the leash as little as possible and as little pressure as possible, so that way they get used to just following with focus as opposed to having to follow with force. Good girl. So you kind of see there, just because I was waiting on Loki and she was getting a little bit further away, as soon as that slight pressure on the leash happened, she knew to stop and look. Good girl. That's what we'll be working on with Loki.